We are spirit on a soul quest with no ending in our sight. With every moment that we grow, and in our eagerness to know, we are polishing the stone. Find the good, feel the love in every situation. With our will, with our hearts, we will find elation. We are good. We forget. Sometimes we're balancing through life without a net. And in the quiet, we'll recall the beginning of it all. With every high and every low, as we make our way back home, we are polishing the stone. Find the good, feel the love in every situation. With our will, with our hearts, we will find elation. We are good. We are born good. We arrive good, straight from the light. We are spirit on a soul quest with no ending in our sight. With every moment that we grow, and in our eagerness to know, we are polishing the stone. We are polishing the stone. We are polishing the stone.
Thank you. Beautiful, Linda. Wow. Thank you. Holy smokes, what a morning already. I tell you, you never know what's going to happen here on a Sunday. You never know.
It's always a bit crazy.
It's a bit crazy. But you know what? That makes it fun sometimes too, right? Like we can look at it as we're practicing the imperfect and seeing the gift in the moment.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't like to see that gift in the moment, but it is one that is important to see. For people who don't know me, if there's people live on YouTube, my name is Rev Tamara. I'm the spiritual director here at Center for Spiritual Living White Rock. And I feel so fortunate to be cared for by this loving community. Everyone here is so supportive and kind. We have generous volunteers. We have people running around with their chickens with their heads cut off beforehand. But you know what? It all comes together and we come up with solutions and ideas that just work through. So thank you to all the volunteers. We got our sound people. We have people setting up coffee and organizing, and our board is always fabulous. And Sandy, our welcome greeters, as well as Ray. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So this morning my talk is about being perfectly imperfect, an expansive experience. An expansive experience. We're having an expansive experience, I'm feeling right now, of expanding our ideas and how to do things. And the thing is that it drops down those ideas, those second thoughts, those other ideas, like, okay, this is the situation, how can we solve it? And then boom, well, why can't we do this? Or why can't we try that? And here we are doing those type of things. And this week I've been reading, Diane read from this thing called You, and I was reading from this thing called Life. And what I found was great that Ernest Holmes said is that we are all part of God, whether or not we know it or believe it. And what happens is we hypnotize ourselves into thinking that we are incomplete and imperfect. We hypnotize ourselves into thinking that we're incomplete and imperfect. We identify ourselves with the fantastic pictures of our morbid dreams, but the ropes that bind us are ropes of sand. Ropes of sand, so they can disintegrate, they can let go when we change our minds about things. And I think that's the thing that we're working towards in this life, is changing our minds, changing our thoughts into believing into something different, into something new. So it was interesting this last week, I've been dealing with a hip problem. And so I've tried the chiropractor, tried massage, tried all sorts of things. It's really impacting my pickleball game, people, I tell you. Right? I go to step and my leg gives out and my husband's going, can you move? I'm like, no, it's not happening. So I ended up going to an osteopath. So I thought, well, this is rather interesting. I've never gone to an osteopath before, and they're a combination between, I guess, a massage and physiotherapist and all sorts of things. And he's got like 9 years of schooling that he had to do. So he's testing everything out on me, and he goes, actually, it's not your hip that's causing the problem. He said, it's your small intestine and your large intestine are so tight, they are pressing on all your nerves, which is going down the side of your leg. So he massaged it, did some things, and he said, 2 things are gonna happen. It's either gonna get worse or it's gonna get better. So in one way, my one pain down my quad got better, but my other one is still, which I guess is more my sciatica, but that's, is a little bit worse. But we're working on it. I've got another meeting with him. But what was interesting is that I went in, I looked, I have this in practitioner training, Rev Tamara gave us the big book of ailments and what do they mean. So interestingly enough, I looked up what is, issues with small intestines and large intestines, and it talks about the fantasy of trying to control everything to be perfect. I went, what the heck? Yeah. That was a WT something moment. And I was like, how is it that I'm talking about this all week and this is what's showing up in my body? So I found that really fascinating around that idea. So knowing that our body definitely tells us different things, as many of you know. So, but imperfection, when we use it as that pathway to self-discovery, so the hip led to something else, which led to something else, which was learning for me to discover something about myself. And in the past, I've done a lot of work on my shadow with Debbie Ford, and Reverend Michelle Wadley does, who's going to be coming here in September, by the way, and doing a workshop. Yes, very exciting. She wrote a book on forgiveness and on the shadow work, all based on science of mind. So, which is really exciting to have her come all the way from New Jersey to talk about it. So, but when we're doing our shadow work, I know I discovered with Debbie Ford's work, you name your people on your bus. Who are your shadows? Who is it on your bus? And then you sit down beside them and have a conversation. You talk to that shadow and find out, what does it need? What can it help you with? Or what can you help it with? Which led me to read another book. I don't read very many books, honestly. It is called Feeding Your Demons. So Reverend Terry did a talk on this a while ago, and he reminded me of the book. So I picked it up, and it's about talking to your demon and personalizing it. And now your demons aren't those ghoulish things that come out and scare you, or hiding under the tree, or like the troll under the bridge. They can look like that, but what they are your fear, your addictions, your concerns that you have about your life. Those thoughts that tell you that you're not good enough. Those things that tell you that, who do you think you are to shine your light that brightly? So it's when I stop listening to those demons and turn them into an ally, into a friend, and feed them. So I did the exercise that you're supposed to do in the book. So you sit down, you have 2 chairs, one in front of you, one behind you, or that you're sitting in, not behind you. So I'm sitting in the one chair, and you have to imagine, you get into touch with what is the one that is the most concerning for you. So I brought that one up, and then you have to picture it and personalize it so that it becomes a figure or a blob or whatever it is for you. And then you feed it. You ask it the questions. What do you need? What can I do to help you? What can I do to feed it, and what is it that you're looking for? So mine was that one about not being good enough, and it said, when I asked it, what do you want? It said, I want to consume you with fear. Right? I want to consume you with fear. And I was like, okay. And so I ended up turning into that nectar that it says to feed it, and then it became my, eventually we worked through that, and it became, I'm missing a couple of the steps, but I won't tell you the whole long story. But it got to the point where I could befriend that ally, and they didn't need to consume me anymore, that they were able to turn into something else. And my scary figure turned into, you guys are gonna laugh, turned into Tinkerbell. And she had a magic wand, and she just went bibbidi bobbidi boo, and life was better. And so she said, Tinkerbell said, anytime I needed to, I was having that fear of not being good enough, of not, and those things, just to do that little song in my head. And I've been practicing that. This morning was a good chance to practice it as well. Yeah. So Brene Brown says, only when we're brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. When we're willing to explore our darkness. And I think that's the piece. We look at our darkness, our shadows, our demons, whatever you call them, as the darkness. And yet when we can embrace them and love them and get to know them, they can turn into an ally. They can help us move through whatever it is in our life. And it's looking at life differently. I was reading a story the other day about, there's a man in his kitchen one morning, you may have heard this story, looking out his window, and his neighbor was putting up their laundry. And he could see there's the laundry hanging out, and he was like, oh, honey, you should go talk to that lady. Their laundry still looks really dirty. maybe, she needs some bleach or something in her laundry. So this happened for a few weeks in a row where he kept saying, wow, I can't believe how dirty her laundry is hanging on the line. She must be so embarrassed. So then one morning he gets up and he looks out the window and he goes, oh, honey, did you talk to her? Her laundry is beautiful. It's so white and clean. And he said, I wonder what happened. And she said, well, honey, I got up early this morning and I washed our windows. Right? So that was the thing. Those things that cloud our judgment, that cloud our view on, that we're not even aware of. That's that subconscious. that subconscious thoughts that come into our head. So when we're doing this, the thing that's important is to cultivate self-compassion, that self-forgiveness. And when we explore the power of self-compassion and acceptance as essential tools for navigating the challenges of life, that helps us as well. It moves us into that different state of being. It's like moving into that place of gratitude, of love, of joy, as each of us deserve that. We are born worthy of love and joy and a life of abundance. So by offering ourselves the kindness and understanding, we create a nurturing environment for our personal growth and our self-expression. And through self-acceptance, we embrace the unique journey and can find peace and fulfillment by embracing our imperfections. I was talking to my husband about this talk this week, and he said, well, why are you labeling us? And I thought that was really an interesting concept, because I was saying, talking about that we're imperfect or that we're perfect, and is it really true? Either way, right? Because if we are one with the one, how can we be imperfect? There is just only the perfection of life. There is only the perfection of the divine, and that is an expression that's coming through each of us each day. So I thought that was an interesting concept, because in today's day and age, there's so many labels. There's so many labels, and some are good. I think most are good for people to understand differences. And yet it can challenge us. It can challenge our thought process, and it can kind of sway. It could be like that dirty window that I'm now looking through that person in that context of that label. I had an experience of that with my son, who, when he was in kindergarten, he was having some challenges learning, because he just seemed to learn a little different than everybody else. And so when we walked into the principal's office to see what we could do, she said, well, let's figure out the puzzle that is your son. And I just went, my son is not a puzzle. My son is a person who just is looking at life a little differently than what the school system offers. So we ended up moving him into a Montessori program, and that really worked for him. And they taught him, I just loved the ethics and the things that Montessori taught him growing up. Because he was born in September, so he's a Libra, right? So justice is really important to him. So he was always the kid on the playground, if they're in the hockey box. But if something was going on, it was like, we need to go to the peace table. Because in Montessori, they teach the kids, if you're having a problem with somebody, you take them to the peace table and talk to them about it. So it was just amazing to see him flourish for what the school system, the regular school system, was kind of looking at. And this is not the whole school system. We have amazing teachers in this room, I know, and principals in this room. And it was just this one principal that just was looking at life, I think, in a little bit of a limited way. So that's the thing, we need to look outside the box sometimes. Just because somebody is in one box doesn't necessarily mean that they're always going to be in that box. Because he ended up going through school, and he ended up in regular school when we moved here to White Rock, and then he missed his friends and things from New West, so we sent him to St. Thomas More Catholic School, and there they gave him the support that he needed. And his math teacher there, where he always struggled with math, but when he went there, she taught him in a different way that he was able to succeed, and now he's an electrician. There's a lot of math in that. And, it comes easier and easier for him all the time. So that's that long story, which is good to know that these different things, that people are looking at life differently. And they were willing to be vulnerable and show up in a way that allowed him to be who he needed to be to grow up. So that was having that self-compassion, that love for himself, as well as us, each of our parents and the school system helping him through that next thing. So what happened then is the third point that I wanted to make about perfectly imperfect as an expansive experience is living an authentic, joyful life. We delve into the profound impact of embracing what we judge as imperfections on our overall well-being and joy by letting go of external validation and societal expectations. We are aligning ourselves with the true essence and live authentically. So with this, talking about that, I was thinking, well, what is authenticity? And the thing is, I bet it's different for each one of us. How I'm gonna show up in my authentic self is gonna be different than how somebody else views authenticity. And I think it's just embracing our own journeys and showing up every day the best that we can. And showing up as true and honest as we can. And knowing that it's safe to do so. And this is what we're lucky here in this community, right? We can show up. And sometimes we have warts, sometimes we don't, you know, and it is okay because we work through it. We take each other maybe to the peace table. We'll walk through things. We don't give up on the other person just because they had a bad day. And how many times in life has that maybe happened to you, that somebody has not fought for you or your friendship, right? When maybe something has gone hard. When something is shifted, and then you feel, oh, again, just evidence that I'm not worthy. No, that's not true. That is not the truth at all. That has something more to say about those other people than it does about ourselves, right? If they're not willing to stand up, because know that every day that you are worthy, that you are loved, that you are an expression of that divine. Where we're so fortunate with that. You know, we are each on this journey through the world, and when we can lean into our faith of the divine and seeing others as the face of God. There's a beautiful song by Karen Drucker, "You Are the Face of God." And when we can look out into the world and look at each person as that, that's gonna shift things. Whether they have whatever is going on in their life. You know, and I sometimes, I know things are shifting in me. My best place I can identify is when I'm driving. Because usually I can be a pretty calm driver and I don't, you know, get upset. I'll let people in, I'll slow down so that, you know, people will merge, and my husband's looking at me like, what are you doing? But I'm like, it's okay. I'm not in a rush, it's fine. Maybe those people need to get ahead. Maybe they're doing, you know, they need to go to an appointment or the hospital or whatever. But then I notice if I'm off kilter a little, I haven't done my spiritual practice, my meditation or my prayer, I get a little antsy in my car. And I start to go, what is that person doing? Oh my goodness, they should take driving lessons or honk, you know, and continuing on that way. So I always know, oh, that's an interesting thing, Tamara. What's going on for you? So it's allowing myself to have those moments and go, okay, let's take a look at what's really going on. What's underneath this crankiness about driving? But it's just a simple thing, but it's funny how it can transform my day. You know, last week we talked about the letting go of striving for perfection, stepping out of our comfort zone, and leaning into our vulnerability and changing our perspectives. And I think that is what we're here doing in this teaching. We're changing our perspectives to that outer, to the inner. And this is when I was saying a little bit earlier that it's stop looking for that outer validation. Because it's so easy to get that outer validation, you get that little hit of dopamine or whatever, but then you go on Facebook maybe, I mean, I'll say I go on Facebook and I'll see everybody, oh, they all went to the fireworks last night, or they all had this big party, or something happened and I wasn't there, or I wasn't invited, you know, and those are, and then I'm like, what am I doing? Like, stop. I had a beautiful day yesterday. It was lovely. I spent it with my husband. I got to play pickleball. I went to see the Ring of Fire, the play at the Granville Arts Club. If you get a chance, go see it. It's about Johnny Cash's life. The actors were amazing. So I'm like, I had this great day. So why am I judging myself as like, oh, poor me, look at, I didn't do all these other things. Like, how much can I actually do in one day, people? Not all those things. So it's learning again, being compassionate and seeing, Tamara, what is it that you're really needing? Where is that, right? That's one of my demons, that FOMO of mine, right? That fear of missing out. That, you know, where is he hiding in me? And what can I do to solve that, to fix it through? So I think with today, with that embracing our shadows and feeding our demons, making them our allies, cultivating our self-compassion and working with that self-forgiveness. Because forgiveness is always more for ourselves than it is for the other person. Forgiveness is work that is always important to do, and you might think, oh, I don't have anything to forgive myself for. But yet, maybe it's just even forgiving yourself for hanging on to not forgiving someone else, right? It's looking at those others as the face of God. And lean into knowing that you are one with the one, and leaning into our authentic self. In Zen, there's an old saying, the obstacle is the path. Know that a whole and happy life is not free of obstacles. Quite the contrary, a whole and happy life is riddled with obstacles, which become the very stepping stones that help lift us to a new perspective. It is not what happens to us in this life that shapes us. It is how we choose to respond to what happens to us. How we choose to respond. And that's from Reverend Dennis Merritt Jones in The Art of Being. So all these ideas that we've talked about today emphasize the transformative power of embracing perfection, the importance of self-compassion and acceptance, and the joy that comes from living authentically. We can then deepen our understanding of what is important to us. What do we see in the world as beauty? What do we see in the world as that we may look down and see that weed growing through the cement, right? Where the weed growing through the cement, he doesn't see the cement, or they don't see the cement, they just see the light, and they're going towards the light. You know, I'll see if I can do this one for you. There's 2 grains of sand. There were 2 grains lying side by side on fertile soil. The first grain said, I want to grow up. I want to put down deep roots into the ground and sprout from the ground. I dream of blossoming and delicate buds and proclaiming the coming of spring. I want to feel the warm rays of sun and dewdrops on my petals. This grain fulfilled his calling and grew up and became a beautiful flower. The second grain said, I'm afraid if I put down my roots into the ground, I don't know what they will face there. If I grow tender stems, they can be damaged by the wind. If I grow flowers, they may be disrupted. So I'd rather wait for a safer time. Thus, the second grain waited until a chicken passed by and pecked them up. I know, right? That poor grain. But that's the thing, sometimes we wait. We wait for these things. We wait to show up and live our authentic light, to shine what is going on, what we really want in life. So let's embrace that this week and change that. What is the one thing that you could do to shift and live a little more authentically this week? What is one thing? Think of it, you don't have to say it out loud, it's okay, but I encourage you all to think of one thing this week that you can live a little more authentically, and do it. It doesn't have to be big. It can just be something small, but that's where we start, in those baby steps. So with that homework, I think just remind yourself that this practice of being authentic helps foster that self-compassion, acceptance, and a greater possibility, appreciation for beauty, and all the possibilities found within imperfections, allowing you to cultivate a joyful, authentic life. So if you're willing, just take a moment, close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and breathe. And today, this is what I know. I know that there is that one life, that one love, that universal divine mind that is operating right here, right now, in and through each person. I know that each person here is love expressed in this world. That we are each this spirit having this human experience of love, of joy, of beauty, and our deepest desire of connection. So today I know and claim for each of us that deeper connection, that love and joy is expressed out. That we show up authentically. We make that tiny shift in our life. I ask if you're willing to make that tiny shift. And listen to your heart, as Diane said on our meditation today. Be still and know. And you might not know right at this moment, but something will come. It will come. So be still and know that truth of who you are, that divine expression of the one mind. So from this place of love and gratitude and joy, I let these words go into that law, knowing that right action is already happening. What I put out is mirrored back to me. And I ask you to join me in saying, and so it is. Thank you. And now, I'd like to welcome back Linda.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
We've been through some things together, with chunks of memory still to come. We found things to do in stormy weather. Long may you run. Long may you run. Long may you run. into the circle time. Long may you run now, long may you run. All of these changes have come with your chrome heart shining in the sun. Long may you run, yeah, long may you run, long may you run. Those changes have come with your chrome heart shining in the sun. Long may you run, long may you run. Thank you. Song about a car. Did you know that? That's a song about a car.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh,
Neil's old
long may
cars.
you run. Oh, one of those cars. Oh, that's funny. I love it. Thank you, Linda. Are you playing anywhere?
Oh, yes. I
Oh,
play
yes.
lots of places.
Next,
If I could only remember.
Remember? Well, I know you're playing with Beverly at the West Band
Oh, yeah, the Harmony Arts on Sunday, a week today.
a week today.
Yep.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That'll be
And
fun at 2:15.
2:15,
For
and
an
then what time? Are you playing somewhere today after?
I'm recording. I'm doing a session today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Indoors. On a
Indoors.
Beautiful day.
Oh, no.
All my stuff is listed on my website.
It's all, and it's lindakidder.com.
Yes.
All right, so everybody can always go to lindakidder.com. And I'm just gonna let people on YouTube know that my phone is at 10%. So I'm hoping that we'll get through the rest of this on YouTube and go through. So, I'm so grateful, Linda, for you for coming out and being with us all the time. I know you come all the way from North Van. I know.
West Van.
West Van, sorry, even further. My goodness.
Well, it's
So,
because I love you guys. It's because you're so special to me.
thank you.
That's why.
Yeah. It's just a big love fest. I told everybody, that's what's happening here today. It's so good. Well, taking that love into that place of knowing that it's time now in our gathering to acknowledge our gratitude for this loving community. And it's our opportunity to participate in the spiritual practice of giving and receiving. As you know, CSL White Rock is a not-for-profit, and we walk this path together. So everyone's generosity of spirit is so appreciated here. And from that place of love and gratitude, each one of us enters into that natural law of circulation of abundance, that I believe is the very pulse of the universe, that abundance. It is everything. It is not just monetary. It is love. It is joy, friendships, whatever it is that means the most to you. So with that, I ask you again if you're willing, to place your hand on your heart with maybe your gift that you're giving, or if you're a monthly donor, just to hold that intention for yourself right now, to know a specific good for yourself today as you participate in that law of circulation. And I encourage you also to know a good for this community or for the greater world that so much is going on in right now. So I ask you to repeat after me. I live in the universe of abundance.
I live in the universe of abundance.
As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow. And all that I give returns to me, multiplied abundantly. I am so blessed. And so it is. So with that, I ask our usher, greeters to pass the basket, and know online if you'd like to donate. You can go to our website. We offer, you can click on donate here, and everybody here take a joy card out of the basket as well. And you can send an e-transfer, you can send a check. We do all those type of things there, so appreciate everybody and everything that they do. And Linda, did you want to play I'm So Blessed? Oh, excellent, thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. So blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I'm not in the thing? Okay, there we go.
Get yourself in there, girl.
Oh, well, we gotta squeeze you guys. I can't see Diane yet here too.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, she says. Oh, no. Well, we just take this moment to bless these gifts and know that life is unfolding in perfection. That these gifts are greatly appreciated and they are so welcome. Today I know that this helps us continue to grow and to thrive as CSL White Rock. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And know that I am so blessed as each of you are so blessed. And so it is.
So it
It
is.
is. My little joy card was today, you cannot have a positive life and a negative mind.
Uh-huh.
Oh, again, the universe. Knock. So, as you know, our practitioners are here and they love to always pray at any time with you. So please see one of them after service if you'd like prayer, or go on our website and go on our prayer support page and you can request a prayer there. And oh, there is the prayer box. Thank you, Sandy. I always forget about that. We do have a prayer box in the back where you can fill out a little form and drop it in the box, and know that we will pray for you all week, and to go from there. So with this at the end of the day, because we are all excited to go to the picnic and play games, so I ask everybody to stand up and let's repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening in me right now.
Something wonderful is happening in me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called love.
It's this thing called love.
It's this thing called joy.
It's this thing called joy.
I know it.
I know it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I express it.
I express it.
I am it.
I am it.
And so it is.
And so it
And
is.
welcome back, Linda, for our final song.
And which one is it? I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, a little something.
Something wonderful. How about that?
Sure. Something up.
Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my body, feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my soul, feel it in my heart, I can feel it in my heart, and I won't let go. Something wonderful, something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. All this love, all this love. my body, feel it in my soul. I see it, feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my heart, and no, it won't let go. Something wonderful, something wonderful happening to me right here, right now. Big ending, something wonderful.
Thank you, Linda. Amazing. Thanks, everyone. Have a fabulous day. I hope to see everybody at the park. If you can make it, play some games, share some connection.
Bye, Kelly.
And if anybody needs a ride, please let us know. We've got some people who are willing to drive. So that would be fabulous. Bye, Kelly. Thanks for all. Kelly, she helped us on Zoom today.
Yes.
All the way from Prince George. Or no, she Prince George? No, Quesnel. Quesnel. But anyways, it's so lovely. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everybody on Zoom. Have a great day. And we will all talk to you soon. And my phone didn't die. I made it. Yay! And now I got to figure out how to stop everything. Hello.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.